The reason I come to fire spinning is because, well, I enjoy it, firstly, and I've been coming for a very long time. It's been a part of my life for a long time.
How many years?
The community is really special to me, so I like to come down whenever I'm around.
The first time I was ever exposed to flow was at the festival. I feel like that's everyone's typical response, but I was just sort of like chilling, and I looked to the right and there was someone spitting fire, and I was like, wow, I'd never seen it sort of that close, or you know, in person. Like you see it on film and things like that. And I was just like mesmerized by it, and I just sat watching for ages. And then I asked the guy afterwards, I was like, oh, how did you get into it? You know, like what made you sort of start this up? And then he's like, oh, I just started going to Mission Bay on Sundays.
Yeah. Alright, why do you come to fire spinning or flow?
I'm not really a social person, and it's a really good way to meet people and just get your chill hangouts. It's, without sounding like a hippie, it's really zen at the same time. So yeah, it's just generally really enjoyable and a nice way to socialize.
What originally got me into it is one of my good friends, Maxine, who used to come to Fire Night maybe 6 or 7 years ago, gave me a contact ball and was like, hey, you have this. And I'm like, oh, I don't know what this is. So I started looking it up and was like, hey, this is pretty cool. So I then just kind of started practicing with it, and was like, oh, well, there's other people that might do the similar thing like that. And so Maxine also told me about the Fire Night, so hey, maybe you could go along. So I go along, and here I am, 2.5 years later.
How many years have you been doing it for?
I've been fire spinning for, I'm guessing, something like 17 or 18 years. Yeah, I've been coming pretty frequently to fire nights since I was about 13 or 14. Yeah.
How many years have you been doing flow for?
About 5. I've done martial arts for quite a long time, and so I already knew how to use a staff and a sword and a rope dart and all those types of things. And then I came, this is for Mission Day one night, and saw a whole bunch of people doing all of that stuff but with fire, and I was like, well, I reckon I can do that. And gave it a go and just kept doing it.
Well, a lot of the time, fire spinning is really meditative for me. So I use it in a way to clear my mind, help me focus, and just, it's really, really fun for me to do. It's just something that has its own intrinsic value, and it's got, yeah, it's just become a really good community thing for me to do, and it's a good way for me to connect with people who have common interests.
So you run the fire and flow community, right?
Yeah, I help run it. Mikey is the main guy. He takes care of a lot of the details, and I just sort of assist and help pack down and unpack. And but yeah, he does.
Well, how is it to be like one of the main people who run it?
It's a big commitment, and it's a lot of responsibility, but it's worth it. Like, you're bringing people together. You know, it's beautiful to watch. Just being someone who's sort of like bringing it together is super special. It's definitely an element of danger to what we do, but I think everyone's looking out for each other. And it's an art that's sort of evolved over the years to become as safe as possible. Like, if you want to go and do sort of like fire breathing or fire eating, or you are putting yourself slightly more in harm's way, and there are like higher risks that come with that, make sure like you're not standing with the fire blowing into you in the wind, and you know, those sorts of things. Knowing where the safety blanket is.
Any element can be really dangerous to you. If you go out in the middle of the ocean without the proper gear and experience, you're gonna drown. If you climb a mountain without the proper precautions, there's ways you could get really hurt up there. It's all about control, experience, and having the safety measures if you need them.
I just need to get... Alright, what do you do outside of fire spinning?
For me, I'm a professional entertainer. I do street shows and festivals and events, and I do like circus, just general circus and variety stuff. And fire spinning and fire nights were actually my intro into that world. It was the first thing I found that sort of sparked my interest, and now I'm a professional juggler, and I've been around the world doing that and make a living just doing tricks and having a good time, helping people to have a good time.
Alright, how has flow and fire spinning created opportunities for you?
I've had a few jobs from it. I work as a model and an actor, so it helps a lot with those careers. And I've done private corporate hire for New Year's events, birthday parties, all kinds of things like that. So it's really helpful.
Has fire spinning created any opportunities for you?
Yeah, it has actually. I've done a couple of paid gigs, which has been money on the side for me. Done paid gigs for parties. I've also performed at festivals. So it's been giving me a lot more of an insight into the business and also the performing side of that. I also go and do some street performing out in the city. Do a little bit of that.
Well, how has flow created opportunities for you?
I think it's created a lot of opportunities to make friends and be a part of a community, and also kind of, I don't know, it's been a big part of my self-development. Like, it's given me a lot of opportunity to grow as a person, and yeah, just work on like building a community. And
everybody who's at Fire Night has a common interest of fire spinning, and anybody who wants to learn anything can go and talk to anybody that they want to, and be like, hey, that looks cool, can you teach me? We're all pretty open, so yeah.
I think that's key. Do you think you'd be doing this without fire spinning if you hadn't started?
Oh yeah, that's a hard. I don't think I would. I think it would have been harder for me to come to find myself in the world that I am now of circus and entertainment, because it was literally the first thing I got into.